Fox Sports covers the NFL, has a contract with the NFL. Many dollars paid to the NFL. So they've got a lot of folks who know their NFL stuff. They just came out with a pre-training camp power ranking.
Forgive me, but before you go too far, and I know I work for another network, but Fox didn't really seem to know much about golf when they did a recent golf tournament, a major golf
That was
tournament.
their first major. They've been covering football for a long time. Have a lot of former coaches and players in the Fox Sports stable.
It's like when I walk into a restaurant, it was kind of like, oh, first day on the job? Like Fox hasn't been covering sports for like 40 years now.
First time in a limo? All right, so Fox Sports comes out with its pre-training camp power rankings for the NFL.
We may question them after you mention who's on the list.
Yeah, let's take a look at this list, okay? Seattle #1. How about this? The Denver Broncos #2. Green Bay is #3. New England drops to #4. Probably the whole Brady suspension thing. Everybody waiting to see what happens. Baltimore is 5. Dallas is 6. Here's another surprising one. You know, Indianapolis is kind of the flavor of the month for a lot of people this year.
Boy,
Fox Sports has them at #7.
If I had to do it today, and I'll ask you the same question, here would be my ranking of those 7. Let's say I'm missing Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's back. I'm telling you, Pittsburgh's back. I don't know how you could leave them. See, I'm not as...
I don't know that I'd be there with Pittsburgh.
But I'm not in love with Baltimore and Dallas like other people seem to be. Baltimore seems to be a flavor of the day. Dallas, everybody's talking about Dallas. Hey, really, what have they done? You talked about it yesterday. Yep. I'm following your lead on that. This is a team that hadn't proven anything. They did come within a Des Bryant catch, if it had been ruled that way, of possibly being in
moving on to the next game.
Yeah, but I would put Seattle. I'd put Green Bay #2, and not based on reputation.
I might also.
I put Green Bay #2.
But how about the Broncos so high?
Well, that's why I'm saying I wouldn't put the Broncos that high. I think New England's down. They lost 3 cornerbacks. They just had an offensive lineman, a starting offensive lineman announce his retirement. I'm not so sure about their running game. They kind of pieced that together and brought back a retrobate, as far as I'm concerned. He walked out on the Steelers. I'm not so sure. And their wide receiving core. You know, tight ends, Gronkowski, who gets injured occasionally. What if they got a backup tight end? I don't rank New England. I really think the Broncos can be the #1 team in the conference.
Let's take a look at what they said about the Broncos. Here was the caption underneath the rankings.
But I would put Pittsburgh in there somewhere.
They said, new defensive coordinator Wade Phillips has a history of success in his first year taking over defenses, and he inherits one of the NFL's most talented units. They do have 5 Pro Bowlers on defense.
Yeah, as you point out,
that's right.
Every day.
That's right. If Gary Kubiak can work his zone blocking magic with a line that won't return its 2 best starters from 2014, Peyton Manning has a chance to hold up all season.
Boy, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I know.
The one thing
Orlando Franklin and Ryan Clady is who he's referring. Unless they're talking about Montgomery at center.
Well, and see, you're promoting Fox like this is the premier ultimate decision maker.
No. I'm just saying they're supposed to know what they're talking about.
Well, sure, they know what they're talking about, but they're as wrong as much as anybody else. But the Broncos have a guy now at offensive guard that is one of the 2 or 3 premier guards in the league. He was not one of the premier tackles in the league, but he was all pro at guard.
It's like they're ignoring the fact that he went back to guard.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's like making me the producer of the show.
God forbid.